If you believe that all spiritual stories are nothing but superstition, then the case of Yu Menglong is likely the one exception that makes you hesitate. Because alongside the official report stating that he died from a fall from height, under the influence of alcohol, there exists an entirely different layer of reality. Spirit communication sessions, whispers said to come from the other side, strange markings on his face, and even traces of time imprinted on a red wall at the ancient Jietai Temple on the outskirts of Beijing. In the darkness of unanswered questions, an unexpected figure emerged, not a police officer, not a lawyer, not an investigative journalist, but a Taoist master said to be receiving messages from the spirit realm. The shock of the Taoist master's account. Since the Yu Menglong case erupted, countless psychics, sensitives, and people who claim to possess spiritual perception have come forward. Ty William, Candace Starr, Sloan Bella. They say they can communicate with Yu's spirit, hear messages he left behind after his passing, and some even have fans who claim they'd previously assisted US police in solving certain cases. No one can verify these stories with absolute certainty. But in a situation where the truth appears to be smothered by brief official statements, deleted accounts, and blocked keywords, these accounts remain for many people. The few scattered fragments left to hold onto pieces they can slowly compare and piece together. Recently, a TikTok blogger known as Dongfang Shenguan shocked the community following the case when he shared a series of videos about spirit communication related to Yu Menglong. He said he had a Taoist master referred to as Master Hu Genzi, who frequently receives messages from the spirit world or the underworld. This master, according to the blogger's retelling, has never revealed his identity or address, appearing only through written notes and secondhand messages, yet has been present online for many years and has earned a certain degree of trust among a portion of viewers. According to Dongfang Shenguan, Master Guangzi called Yu Menglong a child of light, a soul who came into this world carrying the mission of exposing the darkness. And in one of the most recent communications, the blogger summarized 4 main points said to be Yu's own words. Although we cannot verify their authenticity, those 4 points quickly became new pieces in the already tangled puzzle surrounding the actor's death. The first point Dongfeng Shenguan mentioned was also the most shocking. The reason why the reversed character Xin appeared on Yu Menglong's face in photos and videos, rumored to be from the scene. According to him, Yu said that Xin Qi came from an extremely powerful family, privileged since childhood, accustomed to getting whatever he wanted. From a young age, Xin Qi was described as lacking striking looks, ignored by women, and gradually developing a sense of rejection and irritation toward them. In public, he always acted like a polite, well-mannered gentleman, but in the shadows he was described as being far more drawn to men. In contrast, Yu Menglong, in the eyes of many people, was someone warm, courteous, and kind. From company staff to fans, anyone who had met him recounted that he always bowed slightly, always smiled, always shared, and always tried to treat people fairly. In the harsh environment of showbiz, such a personality made him stand out, and if the story is true, made him an easy target for Xin Qi's growing sense of possession. Dongfang Shenguan recounted that Xin Qi began to believe Yu had feelings for him, and from that illusion grew a possessive, jealous attachment. He even underwent cosmetic surgery, as if trying to turn himself into a better version in Yu's eyes. One day, in the company, a girl who had been assigned to stay near Yu casually said a sentence that later became haunting for fans. So love can be traded after all. The online community speculated that this woman might be Wang Yusin, a senior manager in the company, often referred to with the code name Tenyu Media, though no official documents confirm this. According to the account, Yu approached her, hoping to find a way out of the place where he felt imprisoned. He confided that he was in danger, spoke about what had happened behind the stage lights, and mentioned a USB drive said to contain evidence of illegal activities within the company. You hope for help, or at least understanding. But if one believes Dongfang Shenguan, then everything he said was immediately reported back to the very people he wanted to escape from. The result: Yu was brutally tortured and locked in a metal cage in the basement, an image that reminded many viewers of stories about secret detention rooms, underground cells, and metal cages mentioned in other murky cases. When Xin Qi learned of this, he became enraged. But that rage, according to the retelling, was not the anger of a normal person upon seeing someone mistreated. It was the jealousy of a lover whose belonging had been taken away. In Xin Qi's eyes, Yu belonged to him. Yu was not allowed to love anyone else. Yu was not allowed to belong to anyone else. And from that mentality, the most chilling detail emerged. Xin Qi was said to have ordered someone to take a thin metal wire, bend it into the shape of the character Xin, and carve it directly onto Yu Menglong's face, like a brand of ownership, like a warning to the entire entertainment industry. Yu Menglong belongs to Xin Qi. No one else should dare touch him. All of this, of course, is merely the account passed down by a spiritual blogger. But when these words are connected with the photos and videos rumored to be from the scene, the bruises, the marks, the impressions on his face, many people admitted feeling a chill run down their spine. The second point Dongfang Shenguan shared was about Taiwan's Channel 204, a YouTube media channel that has repeatedly produced EVP content, capturing voices said to be from the spirit world, including videos believed to involve both Yu Menglong and Qiao Renliang. According to him, Channel 204 had indeed connected with Yu's spirit. However, the first interaction was not smooth. Yu did not trust them yet. He kept his distance, like someone defending himself from strangers. Only in the following sessions, after Yu supposedly recognized their good intentions, did he begin to share more, and was even said to have brought along Qiao Renliang, as if the two spirits appeared together on the same frequency channel. For many followers, this detail was both haunting and symbolic. One man who passed away nearly 10 years ago, and another who fell from a height this year, two names once seen under stage lights, now said to be standing side by side in a dark room, speaking through the static-filled voice of an EVP recorder. There is no scientific evidence proving that the voices are truly theirs, but the mere feeling that someone is trying to speak was enough to keep many viewers from looking away. The third point in Dongfang Shenguan's account is a detail that seems somewhat logical given the context of censorship. According to him, Yu only engaged in spirit communication sessions through overseas channels, such as those in Taiwan, the UK, and the United States, and did not appear directly on mainland platforms. The reason he gave was this: Yu wanted to protect his fans and the people who loved him in China, as well as many juniors in the entertainment industry. He feared that if his name continued to be mentioned too openly on Chinese platforms, those who dared to speak out for him might face the same kind of accident. In the story, Dongfang Shenguan's master was also said to have connected directly with Yu's spirit and told him, "In the mainland, many people who practice Qigong, Falun Gong, and similar cultivation paths have suffered the same fate as you." At the same time, the blogger made a controversial claim. According to him, mainland authorities have not dared to publicly label Falun Gong as a cult on an international level, out of fear of backlash from the global community and human rights organizations, groups that have long accused China of suppressing Falun Gong. It is important to emphasize here, this is not information issued by any independent international organization in the context of this story, but rather the personal viewpoint of blogger Dongfang Shenguan, circulated within communities following the case. Allegations of suppression and the legality or illegality of such campaigns have always been subjects of intense and ongoing controversy on the international stage. According to him, everything a person does is recorded by divine beings, Every good thought, every evil thought, every slandered word, none of it disappears. In the context of the Yu Menglong case, this statement felt like a warning. If someone truly did harm to him, sooner or later, they will face the consequences. As the story about the reversed Xin mark on Yu's face spread, the online community began asking another question. Who is Xin Qi, and how can he remain completely silent in the middle of such a storm? For more than 70 days since Yu Menglong's death, nearly every name rumored to be connected to the case has appeared in some way. From friends who had dinner with him, to managers, directors, and investors. Some locked their comments, some deleted posts, some issued threats through lawyers. Only Xin Qi has vanished entirely from the surface of the internet. No response, no explanation, no public move of any kind. From here, many speculations began to spread. Does he have a steel shield behind him strong enough to block every attack? Is it possible that just one phone call can make an entire media system go silent? Some netizens dug up old photos and compared Xin Qi's pre-surgery face with images of Xi Jinping, the younger brother of President Xi Jinping, from his youth. They pointed out similarities in facial proportions, eyebrow lines, and the shape of the smile. Some overseas commentators even used AI facial matching models, concluding that the resemblance was moderately high, or even very high. An email said to be from a friend in Canada added another layer of speculation. President Xi's mother is named Qi Xin. Reversed, it becomes Xin Qi, pronounced similarly to the name of the main suspect, Xin Qi. From that, the question was raised. Is it possible that Xin Qi is a kind of hidden descendant of the Xi family? Alongside this theory, several independent commentators brought up the so-called Yan'an seed plan, a story circulated in dissident communities, claiming there once existed a secret project to preserve the DNA of certain leaders from the Yan'an era by selecting women to give birth using frozen sperm. The supposed purpose: to create a generation of concealed heirs, scattered across various regions and assigned special missions once they became adults. To this day, no official documents or legitimate academic studies have confirmed such accounts. But for those who already believe that Yu's death is tied to a complex web of power, the Red Seed descendant theory becomes such a disturbingly perfect puzzle piece that it no longer needs verification. The Red Wall at Jietai Temple, when a fan goes searching for the trace of today. If everything we've discussed so far carries the tone of spirituality and speculation, then the next part is a very on-the-ground effort. A netizen personally traveling to Jietai Temple in Beijing just to verify a Weibo post dated August 29th, posted by Yu Menglong. That post was simple. A few photos of Yu standing in front of a red wall, accompanied by the caption, "Today." At first glance, there was nothing unusual. But after his death, people began scrutinizing every small detail, from the direction of sunlight, to the shadow cast on the bricks, to the degree of paint peeling on the wall. A netizen, whom I will refer to as the investigator, described their journey, and the online community captured, reposted, and discussed their account for days. On October 19th, the investigator and a friend drove roughly 3 hours from their home to Jietai Temple, located in the Mentugu district on the outskirts of Beijing. The weather that day was extremely cold, with forecasts showing around 4 degrees Celsius. Despite dressing warmly, they still shivered in the wind. Their sole objective: to find the exact wall where you had taken the photo posted on Weibo on August 29th. After searching around the temple grounds, they found a red wall that looked strikingly familiar, especially the eaves and the patches of peeling paint, closely matching the details in Yu's photos to the point that they could mark the matching area with a yellow frame in comparison images. The investigator is 1.60 meters tall, while Yu, according to public information, was about 1.83 meters. standing in front of the wall and taking a photo in a similar position. They realized that Yu would indeed appear one head taller than the investigator, exactly as seen in the original photo. This immediately debunked a previous rumor online claiming Yu was kneeling in the picture, a belief that had upset many fans, who imagined he was forced to kneel before the wall as a form of humiliation. The on-site verification showed, no, that posture is completely consistent with someone 1.83 meters tall standing normally. However, when they tried to replicate the photo's angle, things became more intriguing. In Yu's photo, you can see a distant mountain and a white building in the background, above his head. But when the 1.60 meters tall investigator attempted to capture the same frame, they realized if the phone is held at normal eye level, it's nearly impossible to capture both the head of the person standing in front of the wall and the full mountain and white building behind them. To achieve the same composition, the photographer must raise the phone very high, near or above the top of their head, an awkward position for a typical, "Can you take a photo for me?" Assuming that the investigator's phone at eye level height corresponds roughly to the top of Yu's head, the logical inference was, the person who took the photo for Yu was likely around 1.80 meters or taller, possibly taller than Yu. Immediately, the online community began asking, among the people who appeared around Yu in his final months, who has that height? One frequently mentioned name was Dukong, a manager reportedly close to 1.90 meters tall. But it must be emphasized, this is only speculation based on height and workplace proximity, not evidence and not a conclusion of guilt of any kind. The second abnormal detail the investigator noted was the condition of the peeling paint on the wall. Comparing Yu's photos from August 29th with the ones taken on October 19th, they believed the peeling area under the eaves was significantly larger in the present day. In less than 2 months, it would be unlikely based on their observation for the paint to deteriorate that noticeably, unless it had already been in poor condition before. But what drew even more attention than the wall itself was the temple's closure notice. According to Jietai Temple's official account, the site was announced closed from August 27th to August 30th due to heavy rain. However, Yu's photos were posted on August 29th with the caption "Today." From that, the investigator asked, if the temple was closed on August 29th, how could you have entered to take these photos? Some people argued that closure notices are not always enforced strictly. The temple might have partially opened for staff or reopened early for trial access. Interestingly, the investigator also mentioned that someone else visited Jietai Temple on August 29th and found it open, even though the announcement still stated it was closed due to rain. This made the situation even more confusing. If you really went to the temple that day, was he testing his luck? If he didn't go, then who took the photos, posted them on Weibo, and wrote "Today Hi" using his phone? The investigator said they attempted to call Yu's Beijing phone number, but the phone was always switched off. His WeChat account showed no normal signs of activity, yet it had not been altered, renamed, or deleted either. From here, they proposed 2 hypotheses. Someone else used Yu's phone to post the August 29th update. The choice of the word "today," along with several odd elements in the photos, led them to believe it might have been a deliberate cover move, created to obscure the real timeline or Yu's actual situation at that moment. Yu himself may still have had physical access to his phone, but his content was restricted. He might have been allowed to post only harmless photos or empty captions, while anything relating to the truth was strictly forbidden. A small detail, but one that left many fans heartbroken, was the final sentence in the investigator's account. By the end of August, those light blue clothes had already dried downstairs. You know what that means, right? This description made people think of hospital garments, prison uniforms, or standardized clothing worn in detention facilities, although the writer never stated this directly. Based on these fragments of information, the investigator concluded, There is a possibility that the August 29th post was not published by Yu himself, or at the very least, it did not reflect the real meaning of today as written in the caption. From a Taoist master's account, to theories of red seeds, to a freezing trip to Jietai Temple just to compare a red wall with the caption today, these fragments are ultimately stories told by people. They are not forensic reports. They are not court verdicts. We were not present at the scene. We cannot unlock Yu's phone ourselves. We cannot directly question the individuals whose names are being mentioned. The only thing ordinary viewers can do is place all sources side by side. Official reports, rumors, eyewitness accounts, netizen analyses, and ask a simple question. Does anything here fail to line up? This video does not aim to conclude who is right or wrong, nor does it accuse any individual or organization. It simply documents the discussions surrounding Yu Menglong's passing, from spiritual narratives to the most mundane details. A wall, a closure notice, a phone call no one picks up. As for what the truth ultimately is, perhaps only time or documents that have never been released will answer that. Until then, the only question each of us can ask ourselves is, what do you choose to believe? And are you willing to keep questioning, even when no one wants to answer? If you have a different perspective, leave it in the comments. Who knows, maybe your piece of the puzzle will help make this picture a little clearer.